Negan searches for medicine for his sick wife in the world of the zombie apocalypse. Hello all. This is Jacobson and this is a brief retelling of the 21st and 22nd episodes of the 10th season of the zombie series The Walking Dead. You can see the previous episodes at the links in the video description. As soon as this video gets 300 likes, I will release the next part. Also leave your comments, it will help promote the video. Have fun watching it.
Daryl and Carol walk back to Alexandria in silence. Daryl gives Carol his penknife to open her canteen and says he's going to continue searching for supplies. He starts to apologize for their quarrel in the cabin, but Carol stops him. They diverge and go their separate ways. The dog follows Carol. Daryl gets on the bike. Carol returns to Alexandria. She asks Jerry if she can help with a job in Alexandria. Jerry replies that everything has already been done. Carol begs Jerry to give her a task and offers to cook him soup for lunch. Jerry warns that she will have to cook without electricity, as the Whisperers have damaged several solar panels. Daryl's motorcycle breaks down as he rides through the woods. He leaves the motorcycle and goes in search of spare parts. Carol gathers the ingredients in her pantry and starts cooking soup. She hears the dog barking in the living room and discovers that he is tearing up the room in search of a rat. She chastises the dog and starts to clean up. The dog runs into the pantry and paws the wall where the rat is hiding. Carol sends the dog out of the pantry and starts building a rat trap. She sets a trap on the pantry floor and leaves. Carol goes outside with a bucket and tells Jerry that she is going to look for ingredients for soup. She gathers herbs in the field and sees walkers approaching. Carol kills all the walkers and returns to the bucket of herbs. Daryl searches for spare parts in an abandoned car, then inspects a nearby truck. A walker is sitting in the front seat. Daryl climbs under the truck in search of spare parts. The walker climbs into the back seat, tipping the truck back and pinning Daryl. He hits the bottom of the front seat to attract the attention of the walker. The walker climbs back into the front seat, tipping the truck forward, and Daryl is freed. Carol returns to Alexandria covered in blood. Jerry asks if she's okay. She assures Jerry that she is fine and continues walking with a bucket of herbs. Carol pours herbs into the pantry and checks the rat trap, but it's empty. Daryl returns to the motorcycle with spare parts and remembers that he gave his penknife to Carol. He rolls a motorcycle on the road. Carol uses a penknife to fix the solar panel. Jerry asks if she needs help. Carol replies that she's fine. She goes back to the pantry and turns on the light, and it works. Daryl notices a group of walkers and studies them through binoculars in search of a walker who may have a pocket knife. He pulls out his crossbow and approaches the walkers. The walkers hear Daryl and follow him. Daryl gets to a walker dressed in a military uniform and falls into a pit. The walker attacks him. He kills the walker and finds a penknife on his body. Daryl returns to his motorcycle and uses a penknife to repair it. He kills several walkers with his crossbow and continues to work until night. Carol returns to the pantry and starts cooking. She hears the rat scratching and checks the trap. She screams when the rat jumps out. She chases the rat around the pantry until it disappears into the wall. The electricity is being cut off. Carol turns off the pan and plans to continue cooking when there is more solar power the next day. At night, Carol goes to her bedroom. The dog jumps into her bed. Carol admits that she misses Daryl and says that he always comes back. She wonders if she should leave Alexandria to be away from everyone. Daryl works with the motorcycle all night. The dog will be Carol in the middle of the night. She grabs her flashlight. Daryl is fixing a motorcycle and driving down the road. Carol and the dog go downstairs. Carol hears a rat in the wall and cuts a hole to find it. She cuts a bigger hole, then starts tearing out the insulation. She breaks the wall and falls to the ground. The next morning, Carol makes soup and begins to clean up the debris of the wall. Jerry checks to see if she's okay. Carol admits that she had a bad day. Jerry says he noticed she came home without Daryl and guessed she was having a bad day. Carol worries that she is broken. Jerry hugs her and assures her that he is still her friend. The rat runs away into the street. Carol invites Jerry to her house for soup. Daryl returns to Alexandria and parks his motorcycle. The dog runs up to Daryl. Carol greets Daryl and notes his disheveled appearance. Daryl notices her disheveled pantry. Carol tries to get the penknife back, but Daryl lets her keep it. Daryl goes into the house to sleep. Maggie is walking with her son Herschel in Alexandria when she meets Negan and exchanges a tense look with him. Carol notices this and soon after takes Negan to Leah's cabin, claiming that the Alexandria Council voted to expel Negan so he could live away from Maggie. Negan suspects that this is the work of Carol, not the Council. At night, Negan has hallucinations of his former antagonistic self, and he begins to argue with himself. The next day, Negan returns to the place where he was defeated by Rick Grimes at the end of the Savior's War, remembering how Michonne told him that his baseball bat Lucille was never found after that. Negan is looking for and digging up his long-lost bat when a walker approaches him and reflects on his past. At the beginning of the apocalypse, Negan is Lucille's slacker husband. Having lost his job as a physical education teacher in high school, he spends his time playing video games. He recklessly spends money on things, including what will soon become his trademark leather jacket, and has an affair with girlfriend Lucille Janine. At some point, shortly before the apocalypse, Lucille is diagnosed with cancer, and she finds out about Negan's infidelity, although she prefers not to tell him that she knows about the latter. 7 months later, after society has fallen to the walkers, Negan continues to treat Lucille with drugs collected in the trash, trying to follow the schedule provided by her doctor. After the walkers are attracted by the noise of their generator, Negan turns it off, hoping that the walkers will lose interest and leave. However, Negan falls asleep without turning it on again, ruining Lucille's medicine, which was stored in the refrigerator. Devastated, he vows to find another cure, but Lucille reveals that she has found out about his affair with Janine and knows that he is trying to make amends. She insists that he has already made amends, and asks her to be with him when her inevitable death approaches. Negan refuses and leaves, not wanting to let her die. 6 weeks later, he meets Dr. Franklin and his adopted daughter Laura. They give him the necessary medications, as well as Laura's baseball bat for protection. During the unseen events, Negan is captured and beaten up by the Viper Valak motorcycle gang led by Craven. Negan reluctantly informs them of Franklin's whereabouts, and after capturing Franklin and Laura, the gang releases Negan with the medicine. Back at his house, Negan finds a message on the basement door saying, "Please don't leave me like this," and heartbroken finds Lucille, who tied herself to the bed before committing suicide. Having taken a drug overdose and suffocated with a plastic bag, apparently having lost hope that Negan would ever return. Picking up the bat, Negan can't bring himself to put Lucille on the ground and instead rips off the bag, crying as his wife growls at him. Depressed, Negan sits by Lucille's bed, drinks, and that night goes out to his fence, where he removes the barbed wire and wraps it around a baseball bat, creating his signature weapon. Pouring gasoline on the basement floor, Negan puts on a leather jacket and, looking at his zombified wife, sets fire to his house. Negan returns to the bar, where Craven and his men torture Franklin for locating his stash of drugs. Negan, along with Lucille, kills one of the bikers and is shocked to search the body and finds a gun. When another biker comes around the corner and finds him, Negan shoots and kills the man. Negan engages in a shootout with the bikers, killing them all alone before smashing the glass door of the bar. When Craven shoots Negan, Franklin breaks free and smashes a chair onto the man's back, and Negan enters and defeats Craven by punching Lucille in the face. Giving Franklin his gun, Negan tells him to find Laura and make sure she's okay. Left alone with Craven, Negan notes the irony that their situation has changed. Negan then uses a bat, which he calls Lucille, to kill the subdued Craven. In the present, Walker tries to attack Negan, but he kills him with a Lucille punch. The impact, combined with the brittle condition of the bat after it has been buried and exposed to the elements for many years, causes Lucille to split and break. That night, Negan remembers his wife and apologizes to her for everything, after which he burns the bat. Reconciled to his past, Negan returns to Alexandria, where Carol warns him that Maggie will most likely try to kill him if he stays. She confesses that she took him to the hut so that his death would not be on her conscience, but now that he has returned, she will not feel guilty if he dies. Negan accepts any fate and returns to Alexandria, responding to Maggie's hateful look with a smirk.